All right. The goal of today is to acquire enough ice to unlock ice one so we can actually get an ice minion down in our little co-op thing. And I decided to record this because I've been going a little crazy just fishing for a while, and it's kind of nice to talk about my process. Well, I mean, there isn't much of a process, but just to talk so that this like doesn't end up destroying my sanity. And I guess today's topic that I'll talk about is Taylor Swift's new album, Midnights. So I feel like this is probably the most overhyped album of all time. Okay, wait, most overhyped album of all time is maybe a stretch. I'm sure if I looked harder, oh, I'm sure like in like 10 years, this album's not going to be as hyped up as some of the as like some other albums, and this isn't going to hold up like this opinion is not going to hold up until the rest of time as like the most overhyped album of all time because people aren't going to remember the amount of hype this album has. But like this album is breaking like this album's breaking records. Cool. This album's breaking records while being one of the most generic and derivative albums of all time. Like I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm an expert on music. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I can make better music than Taylor Swift because I can't. Taylor Swift makes really good music, and I'm going to come out and say that I'm a fan of Taylor Swift. Like I not all of her albums, but there's certain oh, it's one of these guys. Uh please die. Thank you. Uh Taylor Swift's albums are well, not all of them are my cup of tea, but Folklore and Evermore really appeal to me from a literary standpoint. Some of the writing and imagery used in those songs is incredible. And I wish that, it'd be nice if every Taylor Swift album was like that, but obviously you need variety. And, I never really liked the old Taylor Swift, I don't know, the 1989 or Red Taylor Swift. Those albums were really big during my childhood, but they're not like, they're very pop driven. They feel like money making machines. They were money making. Oh my, it's another one. It's probably a more efficient way to kill these, but whatever. It's probably a more efficient way to get ice in Skyblock, but also whatever. I feel like, I'm gonna get this ice whether I get it or not, whether I like it or not. So it's kind of frustrating. I don't know what chum is, if I'm gonna be honest. Anyway, it's kind of frustrating that like this album is so hyped up as it were. I understand that a lot of the hype comes from Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is kind of like, Apple or Rolex. Like if Rolex comes out with a new watch, like okay, I feel like some of these references are probably going to be obscure and probably only like a me thing, but like let's say the GMT Master 2 Sprite, the left-handed one, that one was like objectively an uninspired, boring, terrible watch. And people should have really been upset about that. But of course, there were just people who lapped it up because they love anything that's Rolex. I feel like the same thing happens to Taylor Swift, where people just lap anything she makes up as long as it's like moderately palatable and hail it as the greatest album of all time. Midnight's was definitely this. If you listen to Midnight's, I'm assuming everyone who is all three viewers of this YouTube video have probably listened to Midnights at one point in their lives. And I feel like you can't listen to that and not feel like this sounds like every other thing that's playing on mainstream radio. Oh, these guys are easy to kill. Never mind. I was about to get upset. Also give good fishing EXP, I think. I don't really care about the EXP. I just want ice, but everything's cool. Like, we're talking about Taylor Swift. I'm very like I jump from topic to topic very fast, so I kind of forget what I'm talking about. Speaking of jumping to topic, here's another Sea Guardian. But it's I completely forgot what I was talking about. Wow. I'll just start the Taylor Swift spiel from whatever I feel like talking about, I guess. Midnight's is one of those albums that just sounds like, well, I guess, if to compare this album to an album I really like and explain why the album that I really like does the same thing a lot better. Let's compare Midnight's to The Life of Pablo by Kanye West. Life of Pablo by Kanye West is a very it's a very different it's a very out there album, but at the same time it's very influenced by the zeitgeist, especially in hip hop at that moment, which was trap. That Kanye kept his ear to the ground and he listened for what people were enjoying at the time, and he made that his own. And I really like that album, actually. Songs that people hark as, derivative and boring. One of them that really pops out is Part Two. And I think that even though Part Two is, it's obviously it's obviously a it's obviously a remix of the song Panda by Designer. Part Two is a really great song in its own right. Kanye really puts his own flair on it. And also he's one of the reasons why that song exists. Like it's not just a ripoff. It's something that he also it's a feedback loop of Kanye inspiring people and people then inspiring Kanye to make better music or more interesting music. That album definitely has a lot of the Travis Scott aesthetic going on. And it makes sense. Travis Scott was at that listening party. Travis Scott definitely influenced that, but it doesn't just sound like Travis Scott. It's Kanye putting his own spin on that. Now, to contrast that with Midnight's, imagine listening to imagine listening to the song of that album. The first word's vigilante. I don't really want to say the second word because I want to keep this family friendly. I don't know. I'm gonna get like 4 viewers on this. I don't know why I really care. But anyway, that song, I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. Imagine if Dua Lipa made if instead of that song saying Taylor Swift, my rock leveled up, cool. Instead of that song saying Taylor Swift, it said Dua Lipa as the artist. You would not you would genuinely believe that. That's a possible thing. And because of how derivative and boring and bland the album is, or that song, every other song on that is inspired or just generic to the point where, yes, it's palatable, it's going to get radio play, it's going to make a lot of money, but it's not going to hold up as a work of art 20 years down the line compared to something like Folklore, Evermore, where if you listen to that, you could say, yes, that's Taylor Swift. No other artist could have made Folklore. No other artist could have made Evermore. Same way no other artist could have made The Life of Pablo. It just doesn't feel like a very personal album. I remember when I posted on my Instagram about my feelings about Midnight, I got a lot of negative backlash, like on a very unhealthy amount of negative backlash. Was, it felt personal and targeted in some way, but I gave that album a 3.5 out of 10, and people took that as an offense to their very fiber of their being. They didn't purely evaluate it as a music review, and I feel like that's uh. Here's your chance to catch winter sea creatures during the season of Jerry. It's not the season of Jerry, I don't think. I should probably deposit this somewhere else. Let's do that real quick. Uh, Taylor Swift, what were we saying? Oh yeah, people just in blindly calling something good because they either like the artist or the artist has made something that they enjoy in the past and therefore they assume that everything that they make in the future is good. It's not a very good way to evaluate art. It's not, art is supposed to be genuine, art's supposed to be unique, art's supposed to be inspired, and you're forgetting about all of these things when you just, pretend that an album is the greatest album of all time or just a very good album when, it's pretty derivative. Um, let's I don't want to break down the album track by track because I'm not Anthony Fantano, and also I just, you know, I don't have the track list on hand. I'm listening to video game music right now, and I don't want to. Ooh, nice, nice. I don't really want to do that. But just picking out songs that stood out to me, or like I genuinely that I actually remember. Because another problem with the album is it's very forgettable. I've listened to the album like 4 or 5 times now, and I don't remember every song, and that's embarrassing. Hello, goodbye. You will die now. You survived a click. Okay, cool. Um, well, I'm gonna save the song. If I'm being transparent, there's one song in the album that I genuinely like, and I think I'll save that for last as the last song I talk about, and I'll praise it and I'll give the praise for that song, and I'll explain why I know that song is better than the others, and why is that song better than the others, and what could have been done to make this album better. First of all, I've already expressed the song whose first word is vigilante. If I want to talk about another song, Antihero. Antihero is definitely one of the more Taylor Swift songs. It's back to like her Reputation or 1989 self, where, you know, or I'd say more Reputation, where she's willing to play the bad guy and, hoax fun at public's perception of her, which is, it's interesting. But some of the lyrics on that song are terrible. Uh, the hodgepodge of rhymes thrown together at the end of the first verse. I'm going based on memory right now. I don't have the lyrics pulled up, but I remember when I first listened to it, and I sent a DM to one of my friends saying, it was something making fun of the lyrics and comparing them to something Logic would write because it was terrible. And that's how I feel about Antihero. It doesn't I I'm v- I'm very sick of this, constant thing from Taylor Swift where she got a golden apple. I don't even know if you can eat those in Sky. I don't really know the point of these golden apples, but they're very pretty in my texture packs, so I have them prominently displayed on my hotbar. No, I was talking about how Anti-Hero is not a very good song. How many times is Taylor Swift going to do the same thing until the public catches on that, it's not new or invigorating or inspiring. Kendrick Lamar, a lot of people criticize him for releasing very few albums, but each one of these is very inspired and focused and has thematic elements that you can tell were centered around key events in his life, and they all came together and culminated to make one of his albums. Think To Pimp a Butterfly, or even recently, the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers album. You cannot listen to those and say, "Oh, this was just something that somebody threw together." Midnight seems like, you know, Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff just threw together some songs that they think would be radio hits, going off the same themes that Taylor Swift has reiterated numerous times to make another thing that she knows will be a hit. Because to give credit where credit is due, Taylor Swift is a marketing genius. She pitches this lifestyle to other people, or like, teenage girls, if I'm being honest. She pitches this lifestyle that is not exactly the lifestyle that she lives, but at the same time is palatable enough that people can really gravitate to this and use it as a rallying point for them. Uh, I'll talk about a different song because I don't really like thinking about Anti-Hero, if I'm being honest. It's probably one of my least favorite songs on the album. Funnily enough, I think it's the most popular. I don't have these stats on hand, nor do I care particularly about popularity these days because popularity before used to be about like, getting radio play, but now it's just TikTok, which is, you know what? I'll talk about that later, or I won't. Like this YouTube channel, it has cool. This YouTube channel is not all going places. It's just a documentation of the suffering I've put myself through, I guess. I don't even know what this YouTube channel is. I don't care either. Um, Taylor Swift. We were talking about something. I forgot. Oh yes, I was talking about how I wanted to move on from Antihero. Um, man, it's just the album is incredibly. The song Mastermind. I remember when I commented on the album, some person told me that first they very very is it- very spitefully insulted me with words that I do not want to repeat on my family-friendly YouTube channel with 3 subscribers. However, I do want to mention that she said that Mastermind really is an embodiment of who she is as a person. I think she said Mastermind is literally me or something. To that I say, have you heard on the debut mixtape or album? I don't know if it's an album or a mixtape by Abel. If you've heard The Knowing, it's literally the same topics. It's the same song. And as I said about the Dua Lipa thing, Taylor Swift and also Jack Antonoff just oh, nice experience. I'd pop that later, I guess. Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff worked together to make a very marketable album. And by doing this, they lost the artistry that, people enjoy when they listen, that people want when they listen to an album. And that's upsetting. Uh, it, art can't be art if it's stolen. And I'm not saying that this album is stolen. I'm just saying that it heavily borrows from what's popular right now and basically sums it up into one disgusting cesspit of music, I guess. Like, I guess I can talk about the one song I really like on this album, and I'm not sure if you've guessed it by now. Most people do not guess that this is my favorite song. I've asked a lot of people, and this doesn't seem to be anyone's favorite song except for mine, which is both interesting and weird. But Lavender Haze is my favorite song in the album, and the reason why is the production on that song is very different and interesting. And digging deeper, after listening to the album a few times, I was confused as why this opening track was really good to me, and every other song was boring and bland. And then I decided to dig a little deeper, so I looked into the production credits, and wouldn't you know, Lavender Haze is the only song in the album not produced by Jack Antonoff. It's produced by Soundwave, who, if you do not know, is Kendrick Lamar's longtime collaborator and produces for him very frequently. I'm sure he does other things. I'm not very well versed in the world of music per se, but oh, well, I guess I missed a fish there. I guess that that song, I guess that Jack Antonoff really just maybe it's a style that I don't understand. Maybe there's something I'm not getting here, but it's not interesting to me. It's just ooh, we're very close actually, which is good. I like being close to done. I don't like being far away from done. And the oh well, speaking of being close to done, it's another mop. But I don't I don't know. I just want Taylor Swift to do better because before this album came out, I was very unashamed to say that I was a Taylor Swift fan. And obviously, if you listen to the things that I've expressed that I like, they're not very congruent with each other, like video game soundtracks, Kanye West, Taylor Swift, they're not like the same. They all have their own intrinsic charm. And Midnight's has no intrinsic charm. It's like 1989, which is like, also a crime to say that I don't like, I guess. But it just feels like it just feels uninteresting. And I remember actually one person that I explained this to told me I was sexist and I didn't like it because of the feminist themes. And I don't really know what to make of that criticism if I'm being honest. I'm sure the people that know me on this channel, which I think is every subscriber because I'm not actually very popular on the internet. That's actually my first squid today, which is interesting. But I'm sure the people who know me can either attest or maybe agree that I'm sexist or not sexist. I like to believe that I'm not a sexist person, but I don't know. Taylor Swift fans really seem to get ad hominem when I express my dislike for Midnights. This video was actually the idea for this was actually spurred by I'm back home visiting. Okay, so I'm a college freshman, right? I'm back home visiting my school again. I went and talked to my AP Lit teacher. We were just talking about things, and I talked about how I occasionally review music, and I didn't like Midnights, and even like as a literature teacher, I guess she there it is. I guess she was surprised about that for some reason, and I explained why I didn't Bates. Guess that was just the one. She was surprised that I didn't like the song, the album, I guess. And we've really not gone nice for a while. It's upsetting. We had this long conversation about it, and I think uh I don't know what to make of it. She as a literature teacher, we engaged in a little friendly argument about why I do or don't like the album and the literary merit of the work, I guess. But I don't know. Another criticism that I got actually for my review of the album is I haven't experienced the thematic elements of the album, so I wouldn't understand because as you could see, I did express that the song with the first oh, I didn't get that clownfish actually. The song whose first word is vigilante is that I can't say on my family friendly. Yeah, I'm not fishing here. I'm fishing up there. My family friendly YouTube channel is that for that song I said that it was boring and the lyrics were bland and uninspiring. And someone expressed to me how cathartic the song is for them and how it sums up a lot of emotions that they've felt in their life and how if I experienced that before, I would feel, some sort of emotion towards it. And to that I say, you're wrong, because there are numerous songs that I enjoy that I've obviously never experienced. If I wanted to point some out, I could talk about Mad City. I've never experienced gang violence, nor have I ever lived in Los Angeles. Yet, Mad City is a song that I really enjoy because of how genuine it is. I'm not casting any accusations that Taylor Swift does not has not faced any of the problems that she claims to face. I'm definitely not saying that. It's just that maybe the delivery is not very genuine, or something is lost there in the ploy to make it more marketable and sell better to young teenagers. I don't know. Honestly, I'm kind of rambling, and that's how I do these. I've actually recorded more than one of these. I don't know which one of these is going to go up first, if I'm being honest, because like as you can see, I don't take YouTube very seriously. I'm kind of just doing this because Skyblock is boring to grind. Well, it's not boring to grind, it's just like painful to grind without like when my friends aren't on and I want something to pass the time. So I'm doing this instead. I don't know. Maybe you guys want music reviews from me and I could be the next Anthony Fantano. If that's what you want, leave a comment about how much you want me to do music reviews. Because I do listen to a fair amount of music. Like, I think I had eight, 85,000 minutes of music listened last year in my Spotify Wrapped. Apparently that was a big deal with my college friends because it's a lot of music or whatever. I don't, to be honest, I don't really know. But I guess I'm not stopping recording until I hit 50 and kind of ran out of articulate things to say about the Midnight's album. Not a very articulate person, if you notice I'm stuttering and stumbling. Maybe that's actually part of why I want to do these to get better at speaking English more fluently. English is technically my first language, even though I grew up not speaking in a household that didn't speak a lot of English. So it's like I'm not incredibly good at it. If you can't tell, sometimes I have a really thick accent. Sometimes I just flat out mispronounce words or forget how to say certain how see which forget how to say certain things. So maybe this is actually just a ploy for me to get really good at English. And once I speak English very well, it's over for the world or something. I don't know. Um, yeah, I was like I swear I go on these like tangents and I forget what every other YouTuber that I see when they do these freestyle videos, you notice that they have little cuts in the thing. Or maybe they're talking with friends so they don't like ramble or stutter. And I don't have any of those things because I am A, lazy, B, don't care, and C, I actually don't know how to use editing software. So you're getting the raw, unfiltered me. Maybe, you know what? Maybe like people want the genuine Queeby, they want me to be myself, and this video gets like 3 billion views because people really liked watching a man, a 19-year-old play Minecraft. Not even a Minecraft, a mini game in Minecraft. No, no, I guess Hypixel is the mini game. So this is a mini game inside a mini game. And inside that mini game, I'm doing another mini game where I'm grinding ice. So I guess that's I don't even know how deep this goes, how many levels of mini games there are. Um, uh, maybe Midnights would. I'm just trying to think of ways that I don't know you can get those. I'm just trying to think of like what either like a suitable substitute for Midnights that's just better in every way but attempts to do the same things, or just ways that Midnights could be better. I'm not really thinking of any except, you know, be more genuine and I don't want to say relatable because that's like, not a fair criticism. All experiences are relatable to someone or the other, but just be more passionate, I guess. Make me feel like, you know, this album means something to you. I don't I don't think that this album, well, I don't know, it's just weird because Taylor Swift re-released oh, here, why don't I talk about this? There's a song by Taylor Swift that I do enjoy um on an album that I do say that I don't enjoy, which is Red. I don't like that album if I'm being honest, but I do enjoy the song All Too Well. And many people know that All Too Well is inspired based on something that actually happened. And, it's you can really hear that. Like even before I don't really follow up on drama, so I knew that I liked that song. I didn't know why, and then later I found out that that song on the album has some sort of prior emotional backstory to it and some sort of drama. And it makes like infinitely more sense now why that song really resonates with me. So there is proof that making something that, you really feel passionate about or like, something that relates to a strong emotion will get better reactions from people. So, and that song is like one of her most popular songs. That song is like Kanye West Runaway, but like for a different demographic. So why not make every song like that? Or it doesn't have to be like that. Just make every song embody that, not embody, embody is a terrible word to use there. What am I thinking? Have every song be genuine. Every song should come from a feeling, you know? One time I uh, said incorrectly, I will add, that every good artist makes their art, every good artist makes their art from a place of suffering. Like the reason that their songs are good is because they've suffered at some point in their life, and that resonates with people. And that is not a truly correct statement. And if I was still friends with the people I made that statement to, I would retract that statement. However, I am not friends with the person I made that statement to. Um, but to correct that statement, I would say every good, or I would say that a lot of artists, when they make music that comes from a place of suffering in the past or some sort of discontent, the music is better because it is easier to, or I wouldn't say it's harder to fake sadness, but it's easier to be genuine and thought-provoking and honest about an unpleasant memory, whereas happy memories are not the most interesting ones to talk about usually. So it's harder to make a better song about something happy. Or like, it can't be just like pure happiness. Like, you ever heard oh, 49, we're almost done. You ever heard hmm, Backseat Freestyle? Like, there we go. Backseat Freestyle is definitely a jubilant and unrestrained song that I would consider a happier song. But the reason that Backseat Freestyle is an important song and it's good is because there's something else behind that happiness. It's an intro to a feeling that is more elaborated on in Good Kid, Mad City. It's just, it has other things to go with it. It's not just, a happy song. I don't know, maybe I'm just a pessimist, but happiness on its own is not incredibly interesting. And I salute people that do listen to happy music because it probably resonates with them, which means that they've lived happy lives overall, which, you know what? A plus to you, gold star, everything else. That's not, I thought that was ice. I thought I was done. I was about to be very happy. Uh, there are things that there are things that are purely happy that are also very good. Um, this is not music related in the slightest, but the Kirby franchise is very, very happy and very cute, but it's also very fun and very enjoyable. But it has this sort of charm that, you know, it's happy and it makes you feel happy. I don't really get that from other happy music sources. You know what? I Wow, that's the ice minion. I'll collect this fish and then I'll go do other I'll upgrade to an I'll get an ice minion and then I will end the YouTube video and you guys can go on with your very happy lives and I can stop being an idiot and talking about very unrelated things. Let's go. I don't know. Um, yeah, very I'm coming to think about all the points that I made and I'm realizing that this is a very terrible YouTube video and I hope it never sees the light of day. But knowing myself, I will post it just for fun because I do not care about what the people on my YouTube channel. Well, I know the people that have subscribed to this YouTube channel are very good people. What am I doing? Oh, no, I'm buying ice. How much ice do I need for my ice minion? This is only the game will tell me. That's 80 ice, and I have 50, so I need 30. I have enough funds to get me 30. The answer is probably yes. Give me 30 ices. I think I can afford that. Well, let's deposit the rest of my money at the banker, so if I do something stupid and fall off the map on the way to crafting this ice guy, I will not regret every decision I made in my life. Let's see. I think it'll require a pickaxe, right? Because it's in the mining collection. Hopefully that's how it works. Not just any old pickaxe, a wooden pickaxe, I believe. So let's get there's wood here somewhere. Yes. One, two, three. Two for the sticks. Let's make these sticks like, well, yes, pick up, please. Like so. Do that. And here we go. We have a pickaxe. Pickaxe goes in the middle. Take all the ice, do this. Then take the other ice and do this. Now we have an ice minion. Well, cool. We have accomplished what we have come here to do today. And I will end the YouTube video here. Be sure to like and subscribe if you really like the video. Share it with your friend and tell them how much you like this video. And let them bully you for sharing such a terrible video with them. Let them make fun of you for the rest of your life for giving such a terrible recommendation. Uh, After I figure out how to end this OBS recording, I will end the video. Um, Stop recording. That's probably the